Hey, what's up, player haters? Chilling with my homie. Watching some TV, just ate some dinner. Wife is out of town for conference, so I'm out here chilling alone. Figured it'd be a good time to make a talking video. The subscribers, are asking for more talking videos, and it seems like my storytelling has piqued the interest of a few people, so I will oblige by perhaps telling a few stories. I don't really have too many in mind. I thought about I thought about a long time ago talking about uh, my first fight that I got into when I was a kid, because that's such a almost universal experience that like people have, especially boys, men typically will have at some point in their childhood, like, a physical altercation. And they're usually pretty funny stories because, it's not like grown men beating the crap out of each other and, you punch a guy hard and he falls in the concrete and fucking his skull breaks or something and now he's dead. Like, that's not funny, you know what I mean? But little kids, they can barely hurt a fly, just wailing on each other. It's kind of, I don't know, at least in my opinion, like, just intrinsically hilarious. You know what I mean? So I remember the first fight. There were two I got into when I was a kid. My first fight that I got into was in elementary school. And I forget this guy's name. It doesn't really matter. But I guess he was trying to bully me. And, I feel like bullying too is kind of a universal experience for boys and girls, men and women, whoever. People in school try to bully you. I don't really get it. I guess it's kind of a power thing. Like, who knows? There's plenty of reasons why kids bully each other. They could be being I don't know, abused at home or something, or maybe they see, oh, this is how my brother or my cousin or my dad or somebody talks to people, talks down on people. I'm gonna try to be cool like them and do the same to my peers. But I don't know, it's all bullshit, kind of sad. But I was a hard kid to bully, um, because I was such a space cadet, and I don't know what it is, guys. There's something in my genetic makeup where I just don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? People can mess with me, and I genuinely don't care because I don't. Part of the reason is because I just don't respect them. You know what I mean? It's like they're like mosquitoes or something to me. They're not even. You know what I mean? If you're gonna be that much of an asshole, automatically I'm going to ignore you and consider you like subhuman. You're just like a little mosquito going buzz, buzz, buzz in my ear until you try to get physical with me, okay? So, you know, like most bullying starts off verbal. I don't give a fuck, I ignore it, go about my business. So then it becomes physical, right? So in PE class, this kid who's been kind of verbally abusing me and me not giving a shit about it tries to turn it physical, right? So we're playing, I think it was dodgeball. Great game for a bully. And I mean, do people even play? Do kids play dodgeball anymore? I'm pretty sure it's not even a thing anymore. Like, our country is so freaking soft now that I feel like you can't even play dodgeball anymore without I don't know, parents complaining or something. But fun, fun game. Great, again, great game to for a bully to play. He's always just wham, like smack the shit out of you with the ball. But anyway, I was like somewhat of an athlete. Had good reflexes and stuff. So this kid was trying to get me, couldn't get me. And then after the game, he basically gets right into my face, um, and just bam, just like throws the ball. I mean, we were probably like, I don't even know, man, like 4 or 5 feet away from each other, just boom, and I was not expecting it because the game was over, right? And it hits me right in my face, and I think I had just gotten glasses, and now that I'm remembering it, that was the reason he was bullying me. He was calling me Four Eyes or one of those, archetypical things in bullying, like, oh, let's make fun of the guy with glasses. And anyway, he throws it, hits me in the cheek, knocks my glasses off. Um, and I got so pissed. Like, I had never been so mad in my life up to that point. And I just immediately sprinted up to this kid. And he was, granted, that he was like twice my size. Like, I was, until I started kind of, I don't know, being in the midst of puberty and working out and stuff, I was a very small, petite, thin person. So this this little kid just runs up to this guy, bigger guy. Hence why he's so, uh, I don't know, so feeling so what's the word for it? So confident that he could, bully me because I'm like tiny. I just sprint up to this kid, grab him by his shirt, and I didn't know how to fight, but I had so much rage in me that I guess I just wanted to kind of just get in his face and jostle him around. So that's literally what I did. I kind of like grabbed him by his clothes, and I think a little bit by like I don't know, like the neck or something. Like I think I had like one hand kind of on his neck, like his clavicle, and like this little meat to the neck here, and the other on his shirt. And I was just like, "Fuck you!" And just like shook him around for a good, 5 6 seconds until the PE coach ran over and broke us up. Oh man, so what was this? This must have been like fifth grade. So what does that mean? That I'm like maybe 9 or 10 years old or something? I'm gonna go ahead and say 9 because I've got a summer birthday. So I must have been 9 years old. Um, but yeah, I just like shook him around, you know what I mean? And he, threw him off balance a little bit. Uh, and then I got broken up like pretty quickly. And later on, okay, so first of all, I got a lot of like cool points for doing that, for like, I guess, standing up for myself. You know what I mean? So immediately, when everybody saw this, and I saw that I like cussed at this guy, they were like, "Whoa, Sean freaking shook this dude around and like said the F word. That's awesome, for like 9 and 10 year olds." So already people are, respecting me a lot more. And now, because I did this to this guy who was trying to bully me or whatever, now this kid, he fucked up. He's now going to get bullied because he failed to bully me. Kind of a crazy thing about childhood, at least in the schools that I was in. I'm sure other people have a similar experience. So you can feel free to comment something regarding any of your bullying experience, whether you were bullied or you're doing the bullying. Uh, it can go both ways. If you have stories of your own, leave in the comments or make your own video and tag me because I'm very interested in this kind of thing. It's such a unique but also universal experience, I feel, in grade school. So anyway, this kid all of a sudden becomes like unpopular, and he tries to like befriend me. But just being a douchebag kid, I feel like all little kids are kind of douchebags because their brains aren't quite developed yet. I had no forgiveness in my heart, and he was like, he came up to me, I think like at the bus stop or something, and he was like trying to compliment me on like what he called my karate or whatever, but it was really just doing this. And I told him to fuck off basically, and that kid never talked to me again. And if I'm recollecting correctly, I think he like freaking just moved to another school after this because he was starting to get bullied a lot. It was just like an epic fail on his part. You know what I mean? But anyway, that was the first like fight or physical altercation, whatever you want to call it, that I was in. Uh, Not exactly. I guess maybe you can call it like a win. Nobody really wins a fight, guys, but you know, I wasn't too damaged. My glasses weren't damaged, and somehow my reputation skyrocketed, even though I was such a freaking space cadet and didn't give a fuck about it. People thought all of a sudden that I was like this cool, quiet guy with like some kind of crazy psycho side of me. You know what I mean? I was just defending myself. You know, I feel like that should be natural for uh for most people. Anyway, now there was another time where a kid tried to bully me. Another again, elementary school. I don't know what it is about elementary school, but it seems like kids around this age are just I don't know, I mean they're like half a sociopath or something, at least in my experience. And that's not only speaking about myself, but also like my peers, and also when I was like teaching, for example, martial arts and stuff, I would see this in the children that are around the age of like, 9, 10, 11. I feel like this period in a child's life is just like the most psychotic. Kids are just mean at that age. They just got some kind of mean energy in them. It's like their brain's developing, but the the freaking I don't know. There's something missing in there. I mean, it's like brain is broken and trying to form completely, and it's not quite there yet. It can't form like a conscience or anything really. But anyway, so another time, again, weird child politics of like, oh well, I don't want to get bullied, so I'm gonna go bully this guy who I think is weaker than me. Again, some guy who was actually being bullied already. And I do recall this guy's name. In fact, I was in school with this guy for a very long time. But I won't say it, obviously. He was being kind of, I guess, verbally bullied. He's kind of like made fun of and stuff. He was like kind of a dopey looking dude. And so people just made fun of his appearance and all this stupid, petty bullshit. And I don't know, one day he just decided, I guess, like I was saying, weird child politics to be like, all right, maybe I won't get bullied if I try to bully Sean because he's like a small, quiet weirdo with glasses. You know what I mean? So he tries to bully me. I think I forget what the hell he said. He said something. Somebody said something to him, and in response, he said something about me. They got a ton of laughs in the classroom, and that pissed me off because all of a sudden people were making fun of me. So what I did in my psycho, 8, 9 year old brain was like, all right, I gotta, you know, I gotta go like Al Pacino on this fucking guy and just, wait till he's alone and just get him. You know what I mean? So all this is going through my head, like how am I gonna like deal with this? I guess, and almost immediately, like the same freaking day, probably like an hour later, I'm in the bathroom, right, the school bathroom. I get out of the stall and I go to wash my hands, and the dude is there. My bully is right there, and he is not yet aware of me. Again, I'm kind of just like this, you know, I've always kind of been, up until maybe my, mid 20s or something. I was just kind of like a quiet, you know what I mean, like hard to spot kind of individual. Like people used to call me like Casper and shit because I would just float around and not many people would pay attention to me. You know what I mean? So this guy just, I don't know, with my natural ninja, you know, fucking can't be seen, can't be heard kind of disposition. He didn't notice I was right there, and I got up right behind him as he was washing his hands, and I took his freaking head. This is how psycho I was back then, and I just bam! I just pushed his head as hard as I could, slammed it into the freaking mirror that was like in front of the or above the sink. And what was funny about it? Obviously, it's really terrible that I did that. Uh, but again, a little psycho kid brain. You know what I mean? What was funny to me about that is I think I was expecting the mirror to break. Like I wanted to kill this kid basically. That's how much she like pissed me off. But all that happened was just like a funk, like a big funk, and he had, like a knot on his head later. But like the mirror didn't break, and that shocked me, and that scared me a little bit because I was like, oh shit, I don't think my ambush even worked. Is this guy even hurt? Because I didn't even break the mirror with his head, but he was definitely hurt enough to just like look at me with this like this kind of surprise, like shocked, terrified look, and just like storm out of the bathroom. and and I had no idea that there was somebody else in that bathroom, and it was this popular dude who then befriended me after this because he thought it was hilarious. Uh, so like as the dude's running out of the bathroom, I'm just like standing there like, oh shit, I'm gonna get in so much trouble. The kid kind of like puts his hand on my shoulder, and I'm like, I like jump a little bit, and he's like, "Yo, that was so dope, dude! You like kicked his ass." So ridiculous, man. But guess what, guys? Like, this dude was pretty much. I think he went to the same middle school as me, same high school as me. We were never friends, but we were like friendly with each other after that. And that's the funny thing about getting to fights as a kid. It's like everything is so transient at that age. Like one day you could literally be trying to kill a kid by slamming his head into the mirror, and then like a few weeks later you could be hanging out with them at the freaking at a lunch table or something, or hanging out with them at recess, and everything's cool. Like very strange time, guys. I got into another fight in middle school over. I feel like only millennials are gonna get this reference, maybe, but over RuneScape, right? Like the massive online role playing game that was like free and kind of popular at the time. It was just becoming a thing. This is like 2001 or something, probably. So I was like 11 years old, I believe, and in sixth grade, I think, and it was a technology class, right? So it was all these like little modules of like computers and stuff, and every computer had like a certain program on it that was like a learning program. It was a pretty cool thing. And these modules were kind of covered. They're kind of boxed in by these like little walls, almost like a bathroom stall or something. You know what I mean? Just like something to kind of keep the kids focused, not like messing with each other, and kind of seclude you a little bit to your workspace, so you can focus, right? But what that would do is just give us, it would give us cover for our stupid little kid activities, like, oh, such and such, brings a porno mag in that he stole from his dad, and now you're like, covered in these walls, and you're looking at it in class, or, you can play whatever, play cards, gamble. You know what I mean? That was going on. You could play video games on the computer because we had the internet, guys, and that was a big deal back in 2001 to have that at your school, especially in the South. So obviously, internet being like new, at least new for like to be used in education at this school, people don't know anything about like blocking websites or anything, so we can go on like anything. We started playing RuneScape in these classes every freaking day, and like a third of the class is probably playing RuneScape at this point. The teacher is doing God knows what, not even paying attention. You know what I mean? That's public education for you guys. And I remember this dude who was a little heavier set guy comes over, and he's like, "Oh man, my computer's not working. Let me play RuneScape on your computer," or something like that. And I was like, "Man, no, heck no. We're like, we're about to get into this fight on the, in the wilderness or whatever the heck." And so and then he gets ticked off of that because we're not letting him have his turn in his mind or whatever. So he starts like cussing at me, and then I'm kind of ignoring him or whatever. Me and my friends are playing, and he like raises his hand and he starts trying to call the teacher over and just say that like we're playing RuneScape. He's like, Mister, Sean and whoever is they're playing RuneScape over there, playing video games over here. And I'm like, man, I literally tell him, man, shut up, fat ass. And that pisses him off because he's like a heavier guy, and it's not cool, to call people fat, especially if you had an ass to it. You know what I mean? So he gets super upset about that, and like a gangster, just pulls out his freaking trombone mouthpiece, guys. So like literally just like a hunk of like brass, weighs like a pound or something, and just bam whams me right in the back of my head, dude, and it hurts so bad. But it also shot me with adrenaline, so I just immediately pop out of my chair, turn around, and just like punch him right in his face. Of course, he's like twice, three times my size. I don't even know. The guy was big, for a freaking 11-year-old, and I was still a skinny dude like I was in elementary school, and will continue being until I was like 18 or something. So the punch in the face barely does anything, but I'm like just blind, in blind rage, and I just start wailing on this guy, and I'm kind of backing him up into a wall, and he's just taking the hits, trying to like he's covering his face. So I'm just like wailing. I'm throwing the body shots. You know what I mean? But again, I'm like I don't even know 70 pounds or something maybe at this age, and this guy's probably what I mean, pushing 200 or something. Childhood obesity up in here. So I'm just like hitting fat, you know what I mean? I'm not even doing any damage at all. If anything, I was starting to hurt my wrist, and and that's why I eventually stopped after like maybe 20 seconds of this. And then like 2 seconds after I kind of stopped to like catch my breath or whatever, the teacher's coming over and he's like breaking us up, yelling at us. Um, and I remember, dude, we get sent to the principal's office, and what we have to do, I remember this so well. What we have to do is write like a freaking one page, like like a paper almost, uh, describing the events that happened, like preceding this fight. It was so weird. I guess they wanted to punish us somehow, but in a way that was like practicing writing or something. I don't know. It's kind of thinking back. It's kind of a funny idea. I like that. But they also obviously want to get like the story straight and like interview us separately, kind of thing. Get both sides. You know what I mean? Without us talking to each other, trying to like get out of it. Because as soon as if you're a kid, you get into a fight. As soon as you're like in the principal's office in trouble, all of a sudden like it's them against you guys. Like you gotta be friends now and be like, all right, man, what are we gonna tell them? So they wanted to cut that crap out immediately. Um, so we write our little sides of the story, and to the surprise of the principal, we were both honest, and our stories were like the same practically. So he was like, I guess, really impressed with that, and we even I forget what happened exactly. He was like talking to us about how fighting was bad and shit. You know what I mean? We ended up like apologizing to each other pretty quickly. Like it wasn't even like one of these like, no, I'm not gonna apologize to him kind of moments. Like we were, like I said, as soon as we got our the principal's office together, as soon as we got in trouble together, we were already like homies, trying to get out of this. You know what I mean? So we apologized to each other, and pretty much after that, man, we were like friends. I mean, we didn't really like hang out after school, but we were like chill together. You know what I mean? Again, one of the funny things about getting into fights as a kid is like just they don't mean anything. You know what I mean? It's just like weird child emotions. Again, that age that feels between like 8 years of age, maybe like 11 or 12, where you just got child psycho brain or something. So these emotional outbursts and can't control yourself. Yeah, everything was so transient back then, and yeah, I made friends with 2 out of 3 of the people I got in fights with, so that's pretty decent. I'm pretty sure that the other guy like moved away, so I never really got to try to be friends with him. But yeah, man, funny times, guys. Anyway, that's the talking video story time for the day. I'm gonna stop it there. If y'all got again, if you got your own stories of like being in fights as a kid or just I don't know funny stories from your childhood, leave a comment below, or if you're a YouTuber, make a video. Feel free to tag me, and I'll check it out, dude. Always looking for good stories, good funny like kid stories like this. Anyway, take care. Peace out.